Shabbat Shalom, Yesharala. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to those Akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity. Along to Israelite foreigner brothers that are like the heathens. But the line of fell side goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So that's your brother Yakal Amath by the lesson, and today's lesson will be entitled "The Ancient Prophets Often Send Curses on the Wicked of Their People." I was going to go on some precepts and Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemosai. And of course, the ancient prophets that I'm talking about is the Israelites. Because you know, um, all the ancient prophets were, you know, often disrespected by their own people, their fellow Israelites. In different captivities. In this lesson, I'll be covering um, four prophets. I mean, three prophets, which is Jeremiah, King David, and Elisha. And Lord willing, you brothers and sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna start with the book of Lamentations, chapter 3 and verse 59. But the point is in verse 65. But I'm gonna read to build up the vibration. And the book of Lamentations was written by the prophet Jeremiah. You know, the scholars call Jeremiah the weeping prophet. And at this time, Jeremiah experienced, the downfall of the southern kingdom of Judah. You know, Judah, Benjamin, Levi being conquered by the Babylonians led by Nebuchadnezzar II. So this is, Jeremiah's eyewitness account of what was going on, the condition of the low condition that he saw his people in the southern kingdom. But this is Lamentations 3 and 59. It says, O Lord Yahweh, thou hast seen my wrong, judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me, man. Because when you go into the history in the book of Jeremiah, you constantly have wicked Jakes, the wicked priests, the false prophets, the king, Zedekiah, they were trying to harm and even kill Jeremiah, man. So they had all these evil imaginations against Jeremiah to kill him because all Jeremiah was saying, to Jake back then was to, you know, humbly, serve the Babylonians and it shall go well for thee. And they was going to stay in their land. But, King Zedekiah, he was very rebellious, you know, and he didn't do that, which it was, prophecy anyways that, we will fall to the Babylonians, due to Nebuchadnezzar's dream, you see. But keep going on. It says, verse 61, Thou hast heard their reproach, O Yahweh, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day, man. So Jeremiah, he was dealing with this constantly, because they had put him in the stocks, uh, for him to sink in the mire, in the mud. They were constantly, they put him in prison, they put him in a dungeon, so uh, the wicked of our people at this time, they were fully against Jeremiah. You know, it says, verse 63, Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am the music. So in other words, every day, just as you will sing a song every day, your favorite song as you're, you know, uh, chilling or something, or you're rising up. That's how Jake was. That's how Jeremiah was to wicked Jake. You know, it says, Render unto them a recompense, O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them, man. So Jeremiah, sent curses upon wicked southern kingdom of Judah, man. You know? And same with us, man. We often deal with adversaries, because we have enemies, man. It's truth. Rather it be, uh, it's not just limited to the heathen nations. It's also our own people. The wicked 2/3 of Israel. Because Yahweh Shai say, a man's foe shall be they of their own household. So your own family, your own nation of people is going to be your biggest enemies. And that's true. And it can come in the form of being enemies at your job, enemies on the highways and byways where you teach at. Probably be a wicked Jake that's trying to sow discord and persecuting you, trying to get in a fight with you because he's offended. Even in the truth, even false brothers kept in unawares. They end up, falling out, and now, they become your enemy. You know, so a lot of the things that the ancient prophets went through, we went through, we go through as well. Of course, not to the same extent as our Lord Yahushua, because he is the greatest example of how he got persecuted, but he still dealt with it through the Spirit. But we gonna go through the same things as well. You know, it says, verse 66, persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord Yahweh, man. So this is a righteous curse. And by the way, whenever we send curses, upon wicked of our people, you know, it has to be justified for a valid reason, you know, because if you just send up a curse just because, no one did nothing to you, to a random person, then the Lord's not going to honor that. The curse has to be a valid reason, you know. And when you do send curses, you always got to get a reason. Oh, I'm doing this because he did this to me, or she did this to me. She greatly offended me in this, so on and so forth. But this is Proverbs 26:2. As a bird by wandering, as a swallow by flying, so the curse causes shall not come. Because we know a bird uh, goes hand in hand with wandering in the air, and a swallow is a bird, goes hand in hand with flying. A bird goes hand in hand with flying. So if a person, if you send a curse, a useless curse, and it's not a valid reason, you just doing it, then it's the Lord not gonna honor it. You know, it has to be a reason why you're sending up that curse for the Lord to honor it. You know, because curse is just, by the way, a curse is just the opposite of a blessing. You praying to the Lord on evil on someone that have did you wrong. When we go to the translation, it says, NIV version, it says, like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse does not come to rest, man. Yeah, so a person that doesn't deserve the curse at that moment, you know, it's not gonna come to pass. So the curse has to be valid for a valid reason. And also, we have to show mercy on the curses too, because they will come to pass. You know, so that's another thing too. But you know, going back to Jeremiah 14:11, it says, "Then say Yahweh unto me, pray not for this people, for their good." So yeah, so at the end of the day, we're not supposed to pray for wicked Israelites, wicked 2/3, man. Because these be the same ones that be serpents at the job, that be plotting on you, that talk shit about you behind your back, rather it be your family, your co-workers, whoever. So we're not supposed to pray for 2/3 nor for their good because they being wicked. You know. So we only supposed to pray for the elect of Israel, man. It says, when they fast, I will not hear their cry. And it says, and when they offer burnt offering in an oblation, which is a sacrifice, I will not accept them. But I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. And that's what the Lord did, through the Babylonians, you know, because Nebuchadnezzar II, he was a Babylonian king, which he was Assyrian. He was the one that destroyed the first temple of King Solomon, and exiled all the Israelites, all the the wealthy Israelites, by the way, that was in good, they had good, good reputation and stuff. He exiled them to Babylon, but the poor of the Israelites, they stay in the land of Jerusalem. when you go into the history. So yeah, so we're justified when if a person was to say, "Oh, we're wicked," you're wicked for sending the curses on. Nah, the ancient prophets sent curses upon the wicked or the people. You know, uh, this is King David. Psalm of King David, Psalm 69 and verse 22. It says, "Let their table become a snare before them." Yeah, and the table is where you eat at. So the table is because this food is likened into a meal as well. So let their table, let their um, in other words, let their knowledge of the word become a snare before them, because the Lord will, if they're not part of the elect and they come in the truth, then the Lord, it's like, then the Lord's gonna set a form of a snare or a stumbling block upon them. So, example, you know, it might be Israelites that come in the truth, but the Lord will send a stumbling block to them in the form of, you know, um, that all nations can be saved. That may be a stumbling block to Jake, but that would be the Lord sending a snare before them for them not to receive the 100% truth. Just an example, you know. It says, "And that which should be have been for their welfare, which is his knowledge, because welfare goes to aid. This truth is supposed to aid you, let it become a trap. So let this truth become a trap unto them, man. A stumbling block. You see, it says, let their eyes be darkened that they see not, and make their loins continually to shake, man. So this is King David praying a curse on two wicked Israelites, for their eyes to be darkened, for them not to see the truth, and let their loins continually to shake, man. You know, it says, verse 24, pour out thy indignation upon them, and let thy wrathful anger take hold of them, man. Because remember, when King David, the time he wrote the Psalms, remember it was a division between the house of David and the house of Saul. So there were a lot of wicked Israelites that was against King David and his men, the elect at that time. So this is him pouring out that curse upon them individuals, but it applies today because they're back in the reincarnation, and they're doing the same thing. The house of Saul is back as well as dealing with balance. The house of Saul is back with the house of David. With the house of David is the elect, and the house of Saul is the 2/3 the non-elect. So both houses is back today, but the house of David is going to prevail. It says, verse 25, let their habitation be desolate, and let none dwell in their tents, for they persecute him whom thou hast smitten, and they talk to the grief of those whom thou hast wounded. Add iniquity unto their iniquity, and let them not come into thy righteousness, man. You know, so add sin upon their iniquity, man, and let not the wicked Israelites come into this truth. It says, let them be blotted out of the book of the living and not be written with the righteous, man. We know that's gonna happen, because the Lord is gonna blot out all the wicked. The wicked 2/3 of our people in these heathen nations, and the only ones that's gonna be standing left is the elect. But the righteous, they're gonna be written in the book of life, and they're gonna be saved and delivered. You see, so this was a curse that King David put on 2/3 of Israel. You see, and the last one is Elisha. You know, this is after he had received a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And this was after that. But this is Second Kings 2:23. It says, and he went up from thence unto Bethel, talking about Elisha, because Elisha was Elijah's like his right hand man. You know, it says, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him. Made fun of him, talking shit about him, and said to him, "Go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head." So they were making mockery of Elisha. He had um, he didn't have hair. It says, and he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord Yahweh. And there came forth two sheep bearers out of the wood and tear 40 and two children of them, man. You know, so Elisha, He sent that curse, and immediately the Lord sent two she bears out the wood and tear 42 children of them, man. And that's another thing too. Sometimes the Lord can, because remember when you send the curse, it's all the Lord's time to honor the curse. As long as it's a valid reason. Sometimes the Lord can do it expediently, immediately. It can be within that same hour or the next day, or sometimes the Lord can prolong it. Sometimes it could be a year later or 6 months later, but eventually the curse will come to pass, but it's all according to the Lord's time, you know. So, and look, I've been meaning to look at that word curse. Let's look at that word curse real quick. It's from the Hebrew word qualah. Um, to be slight, be swift, be trifling. Let's see, to make despicable, the curse. Um, let's look it up on Google. Let's see what it means. Curse. It says a solemn a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power, which will be, in a sense, Yahweh Shai, to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. Right. And once again, it has to be for a valid reason. You know, person is offending you at the job or something, or your family, or a person said something that was said grievous word unto you, and you just took the low, but you prayed to the Lord to send a curse upon them. It could be anything, and it's not voodoo. We don't deal with voodoo. That's witchcraft. So, but yeah, but this is what we do on the right hand side of the Lord. You know, we 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 we, uh we request for a curse to be placed on someone to the Lord so He can judge them. You know, so and once again, we don't just abuse this. We don't do this. We're supposed to show mercy on the curses because they will come to pass. But if a person is constantly, being a demon to you, man, you show mercy countless times, then that curse is needed, man. For whatever reason that person offended you, rather be woman or a man, you know. So, so yeah, man. So the curses I be sent will come to pass, man, in their own according to the Lord's time. And then this is the last verse in 2 Kings 2:25. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria, man. So yeah, so there was three accounts of ancient prophets, because King David was a prophet as well, of them being justified and sending curses upon the wicked of the people. So we can send curses as well. So because like I was saying earlier, a person can say, "Oh, you're wicked for sending a curse." Like, nah, the ancient prophets, they often send curses upon the wicked of the people, man, and we can do it today because 2/3 of Israel they already condemned. So yeah, I just want to make a lesson on that. Lil one, Aqua certified, and until next time, Shalom.